Well, we'd like to welcome you to be with us here for The Lair, where we talk all things Wildcat football. I'm joined as usual by my friend and partner in this endeavor, Luke Davis. I'm LB Graham, and as we did last week, what we're going to do this week is instead of filming two separate shows, one looking back at the game we just played, one looking ahead, because we've already played Borgia, who we're playing on Saturday.
No need.
And there are already two episodes of The Lair on Borgia. We have a preview episode that talks about the team. We have a recap episode that shows specifics from our first game with them. We would direct you to those for that more detailed information. All we're going to do today is talk a little bit about the Priory game, the district semifinal, and then once we've talked about Priory, we'll turn and look ahead.
That sounds like a plan.
So let's start with Priory. If you were at Priory earlier in the year, even though we won 49-21, it felt closer than that. I think it felt like it was a tough game, and they really, in some ways, whilst we were surprised to give up 21 points to Priory, we weren't really sure what we'd get this week, but boy, one of the things that struck us right away is that the team was on, and they were on right from the get-go. We had a few games this year where we just seemed to be slow starting, but that wasn't the case Saturday.
No, and it hasn't been the case in a while, at least, our games at home. Burroughs, we scored on the fourth offensive play. Borgia, field goal on the fourth offensive play. Kennedy, the second play, and Priory, the second play.
Kennedy, every other play.
It did feel that way. It felt a little bit abusive, to be quite honest. But it just shows that we've got a very quick strike offense, and when you can put the opposition in a hole like that, which major difference between this Priory game and the previous one.
Sure.
When we played at Priory, we were letting them hang around for a while, and we really took the air out of their balloon early on. That first touchdown pass to Steve Webb, where they had a breakdown in the secondary, and Steve was wide open without a soul around him, and he just sashayed in for the touchdown.
Yeah, I think we sometimes underestimate how important in games like this, kind of the emotional or the morale aspect is.
Yes.
You can demoralize a team, and that can change everything.
It really can, and there were a lot of not really major momentum shifts that cost us in this game, especially the first half. But we had some challenges when Priory got down to our 1 yard line, down 21-3. Looked like they were going to score and make a game of it by halftime. And Run tried to sneak the ball across, and you just know someone with his height, 6'3", is going to try that. Well, we batted it out of the way and recovered the fumble.
And he'd already done something like that, where he had.
So we knew that was coming, and you just kind of felt the confidence. Just got the oxygen got sucked out of the Priory sideline. That, and then when they got a second chance on that's questionable, shall we say, call on Connor Hoffenrichter, who is probably the least likely person to mug an opposing punter.
Maybe he ran into the kicker for 5 yards, but a personal foul
that
for
was
15.
That was no personal foul.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
We're putting that out there right now.
I don't know what game they were watching, but that was not a personal foul.
Anyway, unbelievable. So they had that. They had the ball back, and it looked like they might be going in. And Connor Donnelly was gathering in that pass over the middle, and Josh Pottebaum pretty much turned his ribcage into fine powder.
He knocked him into next week.
Yes.
It was a beautiful thing. We like a good hit when we see one. Just stay within the rules, right?
Oh, yeah.
Play within yourself. So
you have to admit, he hit him so hard, the guy's girlfriend was injured.
Yes. There was a lot of pain to go around on that hit. So the Priory game went about as well as could be expected. Now we turn, and here's another familiar foe for the second week in a row. We're playing a team we've already played. So why don't you talk to us a bit about Borgia and maybe what to do or what to expect coming there for the second time to play Borgia on Saturday.
Second time, and a completely different Borgia team. We were prepared for Brett Snyder, who was averaging well over 100 yards rushing, 100 yards passing per game when we came in. A horrendous injury that he suffered, season ender, and Jake Understall is now in the pivot for the Knights.
And as we said before, he did really well.
He did, and that played more into Borgia's hands than the pundits might expect, because we had to adjust our whole defensive game plan on the go. We had to, and he brought a different dimension, more of a pocket passer. He could get outside, but they were getting those slants down the middle in that nice cushy part of the zone between the linebackers and the safeties, and so that was really testing us. And one of the keys here is to not allow so much red zone penetration this time around.
So take us through what you see as the 3 keys for this week.
Yeah, without pulling the actual cards up, but the first one I would say, some people might think you got to get after Unasal. You don't necessarily have to get after him, but coverage creates chaos. If our defensive backs are doing their job covering and making sure that we've got a tight zone and it's going to be hard to zip that ball into them, then eventually our defensive front is going to get through and cause pressure at the very least, sacks at best against Unasal, and that if we get that on first or second downs and put them in third and long situation, it really limits their options for what they can call. Secondly, block to success. For what we struggled with in the first half against Borgia last time, it was a really difficult time running the ball and getting our offense going after we had that first field goal, and we just felt like we were spinning our wheels. And then when we were getting down the field, we would have some trouble holding on to the ball. So technique matters.
4 fumbles.
4 fumbles.
That's some trouble.
But it still would have been better off if we had some good offensive line work. So pillar to post, technique matters. Leg on pass blocking, leg drive matters, and just block all the way to the whistle on running plays. Open up those lanes, and we can spread the field. Our offense knows how to do that. And again, the idea of focus. As Fleetwood Mac would say, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. We beat Priory. That's in the past. Yesterday's gone. And so now we have to look ahead to a new look Borgia team. It's going to be a team coming in, ready to go for the district championship. We can take no one for granted. Don't take any play for granted. No. Hold on to the ball, discipline, do the little things well, and the good stuff will add up over time.
It would be great to come out, kind of score fast, kind of grab that lead, build a little bit of a cushion, and again, take the wind out of their sails the way we did with Priory.
We're kind of in a routine about that. It would be nice to see that continue, and a win Saturday means a new school record for single season wins.
And a 12-0 year, which we've never had. And so we would like to ask everybody, come out to the game on Saturday. It's at 1 o'clock here at home. Come support your team. Let's go Wildcats.
Let's go.